Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Lebanon Board of Park Commissioners meeting. I'd like to call the meeting to order and let the record show that all members are present except Diane Scott. And if everyone's had a chance to look at the minutes, I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carried. Okay, under old business this evening, we have Kevin Krulik with project updates.
Good evening, board members. Project updates for tonight. Let's see, get back to the top of the list. A lot going on, although it's kind of that weird time of year when we had a real winter this year, so things really slowed down. But I don't know, that warm weather last week really got me starting to think about construction season coming up here. A couple updates on various projects. Start with some of the non-truly park projects. We've got Fordyce Street. Work is scheduled to start up on that in March. Right now we're kind of working west of Grant Street, where we'll be putting in a trail on the north side, working through our final utility relocations before we get ready to start that work here in a couple weeks. And that will then connect the trail from East Street all the way out to the new Central Elementary. Let's see, we've got the Witt Road project, trails also included on that. We're just wrapping up our environmental study phase, and we'll be moving into right-of-way buying probably in May once we get final approvals on our environmental study. Keep in mind that project isn't scheduled for any construction this year, not really scheduled for construction until 26 and 27. Let's see, other projects. Let's get into some of the truly park projects. Stone Eater Bike Park. We're doing some, we've got some corrections on the information kiosk that we're going to be making next couple of weeks. Working through that. I've also was approached by our park designer who has an opportunity for us with Trek bicycles and potentially some more sponsorship and donations to the park. We'll see where that goes, but if anything comes of that, we'll keep everybody posted. Also happy to report, I've been passing these on to John and the park staff. We've had, let's see, a homeschool group, the Boys and Girls Club, and then NICA, again, wants to have 2 events. So we've got 4 different events that people are slating for the summer months as we get there, various different sizes of groups that want to come out there and ride the trail as larger groups. So we'll keep everybody posted on that. And again, we'll pass those all off to the Parks Department so they can make sure those things are properly scheduled. The old street garage, working through that. You might have saw the mayor released a new concept plan that we got in yesterday. It's out there on social media if you want to take a look at that. We're not done. We're still looking for public input, still gathering information, but we've refined the plan from what was presented to you back in December. There was a lot of stuff on that plan. I think we heard from a lot of people. There was just potentially too much stuff. So they really have backed that down a bit. The park is more geared towards our teenagers, kids 13 to 18, and the kind of needs that we think they might want and enjoy, like climbing walls and skate parks, things of that nature. But they still have plenty of opportunity for walking trails and shade structures, people to sit on park benches, things like that. Lots of passive and active recreation that will happen out there. Pickleball court construction, nothing really happening right now, but that is scheduled for this spring. We do have the additional appropriation just to finalize the funding on that from food and beverage. That will be on the agenda for the city council on Monday night. And we'll get moving forward. Don't have a schedule yet from the contractor as to when they plan to get started. But again, the contractual completion date is July 1st. Fishing pier, contractor still working through some miscellaneous punch list items. We got our first invoice from the railing manufacturer, fabricator. They are beginning to fabricate those rails and should be out installing hopefully next month if weather permits. And we'll have all those rails in along the ADA walkway down to the pier. Big Four Trailhead over on Sam Ralston Road, again scheduled for construction and completion by July. We don't have a schedule at this time, but definitely is moving forward. Lighting is also being added to that project. The dog park, Hot Pond are also scheduled still to get those portalet structures completed. Again, just really waiting on weather to break before the contractor can finish up those. And then we've ordered a lot of lights that will be going in around Abner Longley Park, and I anticipate another funding request from Food and Beverage for trails going around the perimeter later in the spring to get us geared up for summer. But that is to be determined at this time. And let's see, that's really about all I got. We are working on some other trail projects going in around the city. There's Witt Road North up near the Lilly campus. Basically, the last phase of that project is really to finish up the pass that will go from 300 North up to the Lilly entrance. We're also working on the plans for a reconstruction of 200 West by the next Lilly site, the Lilly Medicine Foundry site. That will also include more walking paths. So lots of walking paths scheduled to go in on projects all around the city. I think that's really all I have for right now. Again, we're just kind of in that lull in the season before construction starts.
I have one question. I think when you talked about the path at Abner Longley, that's within the park, like a walk.
Within the park, around the
Okay.
perimeter,
And
yeah.
so that's on the, for this
It's definitely,
hopefully.
we took a preliminary budget and plan to City Council last year, and that was included. They funded several of those projects, including the pickleball courts and other things. And so they wanted that one to be more refined before they funded it, but we'll plan to go back there. Our budget, when we talked about it last year, was somewhere in the neighborhood of about $600,000 for paths and lighting. Again, the American Rescue Plan projects has really bought a lot of that lighting for us. So we'll be going back and working with the council on funding the path construction. We do have the first phase of that path construction that's already funded and already under contract that will be happening here later in the spring along the west side of the football fields. So it'll go from the Big Four Trail along the west side of the football fields all the way down to the park entrance. Oh, I forgot to mention, we've got a number of demolition projects going on around the city. The first one that will be coming up will be the demolition of the house there at Beck Street, right there between the entrance and the exit drives for the park. So that will be that is now under contract and we'll be moving forward here in probably the next 2 weeks. There's a funding request to finalize that project that goes in on Monday night. So.
Just out of curiosity, what kind of feedback did you get from your event at Stone Eater?
We had really good feedback.
I wondered if anybody said you should do this, you should do that, or...
No, there were some, I guess if there's any takeaways, I think when we have the events, one of the events that NICA wants to hold is, again, their state championship races on the weekend of October 17th, I believe it is. One of the things that they said they would like to work with us on is figuring out a way that we can keep a section of the trails open to the public for the entire weekend instead of having to close it. We kept it open as much as possible throughout the weekend, but I think on Sunday morning they did have to close it just for the safety of the kids. But I think we're going to try to find a way to keep at least one trail open all weekend long so we don't have to turn anybody away. But other than that, some minor issues with some loose gravel on some of the cross-country trails. Already working with John and Billy and their crew on proposals to move that forward and solidify some of those loose areas. We do have another $25,000 that's being granted to us by Discover Boone County, the former CVB. We'll be receiving that here this spring, so that will go to some of those trail maintenance issues. we're learning some things about some areas that we might want to put some additional sidewalks, some additional concrete where people are walking to the information kiosk, things like that, and it's becoming muddy, which obviously this time of year with the freeze and thaw, that can be a problem. But we're thinking about maybe encasing some more of that ground in concrete just so that we don't have to deal with those maintenance issues every spring of cleaning that up. But yeah, I mean, in general, people love the park. People were excited. A lot of praise from parents of kids that said this is the best venue they've ever been to because they can see their kids racing, where they're not just always hidden in the woods somewhere and don't know if they're doing well, doing bad, if they've had an accident until they hear something from one of the league officials. So it was really, they said, refreshing to be at a course where you could see 75% of the course from the pit zone area. So that was high praise. We don't see that a lot.
I know some of these people, when they come to these events, they camp, correct?
They do like to camp at the venues.
And I wondered where they would go.
Well, we had a couple. We can allow some camping on the pavement. Really not supposed to camp on the ground because of the risk of methane gas that sometimes leaches out of a landfill. Now, with that being said, we did over 100 test holes and did ambient air sampling. We never encountered any even trace amounts of methane gas. So we feel safe, but IDEM put that restriction on the land that we can't camp over where the trash is buried. There would be some areas like along 52 where we could have some tent camping, but to be honest, it's not a real hospitable environment camping right along US 52. So actually, I talked to the league last week, and they are actually talking to some local campgrounds to see if they can't arrange some group rates to create some areas for people to camp close by. So really, I think we had 2 campers that were on the pavement at the race last year, and that was just the league director and their assistant that was camping that weekend, which also helped just from a security standpoint. Someone was there 24 hours a day. But yeah, I'd love to say we could camp, but I don't see how we do it,
No,
unless the golf course would let us
I didn't
camp
think we
there.
could there, but I wondered where they would go around here, too. Okay.
I think our hotels saw a nice little increase that weekend because
I'm sure.
Yeah, which is why we're getting CVB money. That's their criteria for when they dole out their grants is are we putting heads in beds in the community, and they definitely saw that opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any new business to come before? Okay. Then we'll go to the director's report.
Good evening. As I left the report there to you, all the different parks and what we do, I'll just brush over it and then summarize it. Memorial Park, obviously we got all our Christmas scenes down before February. That cold weather and stuff kind of slowed us down along with the snow. We plowed, salted, did all the drives, all that. Cleaned up the War Memorial, Children's Memorial, tried to open the shelters too, so that's a lot of hand shoveling. Basically it, and then we've been picking up tree limbs and just brush and trash daily, keeping the restroom open down by the baseball field. We are replacing the umbrella arms the end of this month on all the park. It's been, 11 years for the pool now, so they've shown their age, and we're going to replace those. Also, the countertops and the concession stands, there again, showing their age. We're going to get some new countertops in there and install that. There again, Logan Banks, the supervisor, is also training one of the employees, Kyle Van Camp, take over the pool. It's a lot, and all those pump houses, you have 3. You have the wave pool, the leisure pool, and then the splash pad. So it's a lot to learn, and he's going to train somebody else, so he isn't in there all the time along with others. Abner Longley, we replaced, I think Billy did the majority of the work too, replaced all the partitions down at the bathroom. Wintertime's a great time, can't do it during the season. We've had those in, just haven't been able to do it. He also replaced the women's in the memorial bathroom too while it's closed. So, man, cleaned it up, some paint driving Billy crazy, so he got in there and cleaned them himself. He's the superintendent, and I appreciate that and his attention to detail. New playground equipment installed, you knew that from back in November. There again, they're holding up well, the musical at Memorial Park, but we had a new one installed at Abner. That went well. The slide was not up to par. We complained about that. They brought a new one out. I don't know how they did it so quick, but it's been installed. So we have the slide. Everything's good. It's been inspected and certified by a playground inspector, and everything's good. Want to thank Kiwanis Club for helping us out with that project and funding quite a bit of that project. Again, plowed, salted, picked up sticks along Abner. Dog park, about the same, plowed parking lots. We pick up trash and do a barrel run on all these properties. Hot pond, same thing, sticks and trash throughout the winter. Try and get out there weekly, even in the cold weather. Ruth Berkshire, same thing, barrel run, sticks to trash, and plow the parking area. Stone Eater Bike Park, pretty much did a barrel run, trash pickup, the barrel run, and plow the parking area. As far as that, it is red, so all the skills trails are closed still. They're pretty muddy and soft with this thawing. There again, they were full of ice, so it's been red for a while. The gravel areas are still rideable. Just wanted everyone to know that it's not closed, but the skills trails are. So please help us out and stay off those. Downtown, obviously we took all the decorations down, stored everything, put it away. Trash and barrel run down there and picking up trash. Obviously we had a lot of snow removal and we had to shovel quite a bit. Reese Park, there again, snow removal. That lift station work is still going on. They're delayed a couple weeks with the freezing weather. So Brett is going to be in a pickle there. I think the soccer program starts April 17th, and they're looking at a May completion date, and then the seeding begins and all that. They will bring it back to usable ground, but it's going to be a while. So we'll work with Lisa on that to see if we can find another area for them, because their program is ever growing. It was approved for the building that you had approved. It's gone through all the system now, been signed off on, so there will be a building out there, storage, that they will put out. And again, they're working as quick as they can on the lift station out at Reese, but it is what it is. Weather and inclement weather has held up a lot of things. Big Four Trail, again, been clearing it. Spent about 150 man hours cutting the brush back, cutting trees. Got to do that for the bats. Get in there. There's a DNR rule that you have to have all the trees cut down and all that. So we're complying with those rules. We probably still have another 100 hours or 150 hours, man hours, cleaning up the trail, brush, cutting it back. And it just grows, so we'll be doing it again next year at this time. Rolling Meadows, Kitty Park, pretty much just do a trash pickup there. I spoke with it earlier. It's going to be a green space. That's in our master plan, and unfortunately, we have another playground over at the old street garage. Hopefully that will help out a lot in that. But you have green space, you can kick a ball, play some football, other games there. But the playground equipment will be removed as it is used up. So in summary, over the past 2 months, we worked on equipment, repairs, cleaning, organizing, taking inventory, et cetera. Happy to get out with the nice weather that we had and get quite a bit of stuff done, raking up around the trees and cleaning those up. Quite a few of the crew members have taken classes at Purdue and obtained their RT license. Want to thank them for doing that extra work, and We have teamed up with Lebanon Utilities for some safety training and very much appreciate their help. They're taking care of the bill, which is nice. Our superintendent, along with supervisors, attended a management efficiency training. It was also put on by IMPA, and I want to thank the utilities for covering that. Jason, the DPW superintendent, is also working with us, so we'll be doing quite a bit of cross-training with the DPW and us, the Parks Department, wherever we can cut costs or anything like that, but a lot of it is paid through the utilities. We'll be teaming up with them. So it's always great to get safety training. Can't get enough of it in my eyes. Thomas Ingalls has been certified. He had to go back and get his recertification, lifeguard certification, instructor license, which he accomplished. No doubt he would. He'll be holding 2 separate lifeguard certification classes for our upcoming summer staff. And we're in the process of hiring a couple new maintenance techs. First round of interviews have been held, had over 15 applicants, and Billy, superintendent, Logan, and Joel, the 2 supervisors, did the first round, sent a few on to me, which they're great. I think we can't go wrong with any of them, is what I'm told. Those interviews start next week, the second round. And we hope to have 2 positions filled by the end of March, or the 1st of March. There again, we went 1 short last year, and we were, with obviously the addition of Stone Eater, the council saw it in their hearts to give us another employee, which we were very thankful for. Wrapped up our last round of open interviews for Seashore Water Park this past Saturday. Had a great turnout. It was packed in there. There were 8 or 9 in that front office the whole time. We had another one in January, but this turnout was incredible. Yeah, we have them from Tri-West. We have them from all over. We have homeschooled. We have Western Boone, Lebanon. A lot of guys this year, but yeah, we had, I think, 17 jobs, so we had to turn quite a few away, unfortunately. And I hate to do that, but it's a good thing, too. And we hope these other kids will come back and apply again. Some of it's their first jobs, and a lot of them. But it's really good. Going to have a great crew, and Thomas is ready to certify all of them. And then programs and events, currently running our 2025 Snowman Contest, and believe it or not, we have some, so we have had some snow, and that contest's been going on a while. There again, if we get any tonight, which we did pre-salt, all that, most creative snowman for a chance to win a prize from the Parks Department. Pictures will be accepted until the 14th. Please email all the pictures to the park at lebanon.in.gov. Our pool party calendar is almost booked up for the 2025 summer season. So if you want dates, yeah, there's 4 left. You're right. Jessica, you were on the phone today, weren't you? Yeah. See, we don't pull any, yeah, you got to call in. So, yeah, there's 4 left. Incredible. And here it is, just 1st of February. Since we're starting construction on our Memorial Park pickleball courts, we won't be able to host our spring pickleball league, and we're hoping for a tournament around the 4th of July. Also taking care of Anderson Lane. A lot of those reflectors were damaged. I think some vandalism happened, so we cleaned it up, but we will be responsible for it. And when Fordyce is done, we'll be taking care of that trail also. But yeah, the guy's been doing a great job. I think, yeah, it's been an interesting winter, and looking forward to spring and being staffed up. That'll help. And that's all I had. Any questions?
Busy.
Yeah.
Any questions for John?
Any questions? Yeah, Jessica got in there, and I think your daughter's coming back too this year. That's great. She's going to be in a manager position there, so it's going to help us out quite a bit. Again, we're really lucky. We did have one employee that Austin Hamilton that had a baby boy, so he's on maternity leave right now, but looking forward to him coming back. A real healthy boy, and that was about 3 weeks ago. And then Taylor is expecting here this month, so looking forward to another growing this park family. But yeah, Allison and Thomas or Ray take over those duties, and we won't miss a beat. So it's going to be a busy, busy spring.
Always.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, John.
Thank you.
If there's nothing else to come before the
I-
board,
could I- One more thing.
Oh.
We did finally purchase Thompson Street, which was the old EnviroChem building down at Abner Longley Park across from it. Finally got it. 18 years later, it's finally happened. And there again, we also purchased a property on Beck Street. And as Kevin said, he's working on bids to demolish those buildings and knock them down. But it's really nice. They're attached to the property. Just real thankful that everybody hard work to get this done and purchase these properties. And looking forward to seeing those buildings be knocked down. Thank you.
I'll wait. Okay, if everyone's had a chance to look at the claims, I'd entertain a motion to approve the claims.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. If there's nothing else to come before the board tonight, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I have a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion to adjourn and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carried. Thank you for joining us this evening.